going on YouTube. Um, Whenever I get in a debate with white people about racism and and its overt and covert examples, I always come up with one from the past. Now, we already know, we as those of us who actually know our history know that that racism still exists. That racism still exists, and that we as black people are still targets. It's almost hard trying to find an article where you could see the blatant overt racism. Not too many people want to talk about it, but keep in mind that America has so many enemies that they are damn near ready, anxious, searching through the pile of hate to find the needle of racist actions committed by the United States. And that seems to be where we find the majority of America's dirt, is by looking at the information that is being published by other countries. So in this particular story, going to be talking about this white guy, Fergus Wilson, white racist supremacist, who really doesn't have a problem being racist. As a matter of fact, in the book How White Folks Got So Rich, they talk about Donald Sterling and how Donald Sterling had owned these apartments, and I believe that's when they first got a real taste of how racist he really was, when someone quoted him saying that he was talking about blacks, Asians, and another race of people who were leasing apartments from in his apartment building or whatever. And one of the things he said was how the only thing that he liked about Asians was that they don't care what conditions they live in, and their rent was always on time. And what he said about black people was I forget what it was that he had said about black people, but you can check that out in the very first part of the series, How White Folks Got So Rich, that I'm doing. Check out that playlist or whatever. But get right into this article by the lead tycoon Fergus Wilson, who was last week exposed for banning colored tenants from his properties because they make carpets smell of curry, said he would not apologize for the comments. There has been much support for the stance I have taken. I do not apologize for it. Faced with the same circumstances, I would do it again, theKent billionaire told Sky News. Now, that even if what he was saying was somewhat correct, how do you get off saying all black people are like that? Matter of fact, how do you cut off an entire race of people because of what a few of that race had done? Now, I know that somebody white is going to say, well, that is your position. That is your position concerning white people. You're damn right, because white people, this is your history. Like, this is your nature. Your nature is to be destructive. So that is why, me personally, I cannot trust any white person, because you may be nice today, but there's no telling what it's gonna take. There's no telling what a person can do in order to tick you off the wrong way and awaken that sleeping hate gene that all white people have. Emails sent by Wilson were leaked on Tuesday, showing a businessman instructing his estate agent, Evolution, not to rent properties out to people of South Asian origin. Let me see if I read this right. Emails sent by Wilson were leaked on Tuesday, showing the businessman instructing his estate agent, Evolution, not to rent his properties out to people of South Asian origin. So this dude ain't no different from Donald Sterling, as far as his hate, not just towards black people, but other minorities as well. And I believe that when he says South Asian origin, I believe that he's really talking about your Israelis, your Pakistanians, people like that. But then again, you also have those Asians who, we automatically think of as Asians whenever the word is mentioned, like a Jackie Chan, or those types of persons, those type of Asians. The landlord later commented that the motivation for the leak was a mystery to him. Okay, bear with me. Was a mystery to him, as he had received wide support for the ban. He said banning colored people isn't racist, rather a precaution, like not allowing smokers or pet owners to live in his house. Oh, man. Okay, now check this out. I'm not racist, and my beef is with curry, not with the color of someone's skin. I have merely taken an economic decision. It is the same with dog owners and smokers. I do not feel able to take them, he said. Now check this out. I'm pretty sure that there are people who don't have a problem with this man's position on his suspected or alleged racism. They might throw it all out the window, saying that he's not racist. That they say, hey, he said he's taking an economic decision. But any white person, man, that in order for them not to admit to racism still being in existence, they're gonna deny it right off bat. Wilson argued that he recently spent $15,000 cleaning the carpet of one of his properties because it ingrained food smells. He had previously insisted he is not racist because he let his properties to niggers and Eastern Europeans. And this is a quote from him saying niggas, man. And we black people couldn't get away with, saying, crackers and rednecks and things like that, even though they call themselves that. But, like, even though we call ourselves niggas, we was taught that. We didn't teach white people to call themselves crackers and rednecks. That's not what we did. However, the policy may be in breach of the Equality Act and is now under investigation by the Equality Human Rights Commission. These are truly disgusting remarks, as well as being unlawful instructions from a landlord to a letting agent, the Commission's Chief Executive Rebecca Helsenarth said in a press release on Wednesday. We will investigate and we'll be asking Mr. Wilson to explain his actions. But according to him, he wasn't being racist. So this is going to be pretty cut and dry. They're going to call him in. They're going to question him. And he's just going to say, hey, this isn't a race thing. This is a environmental issue. How did he word it? I want to make sure that I say exactly what he said. An economic decision. Yeah, an economic decision. Wow. We will investigate and we'll be asking Mr. Wilson to explain his actions unless we are satisfied unless we are satisfied that he will not break the law in the future, we will take legal action. Now, if anybody knows what that means, please let me know in the description, in the comment section below. Kent Police said the force is aware of the situation and will be working to establish if any officers have taken place, if any offenses have taken place. So, like I always say, racism is very much still alive to this day, man. There's no escaping it. It's inevitable. It's not going anywhere. And even if someone has so much faith that it will leave, it's not going anywhere no time soon. Racism is just a way of life now. Matter of fact, I said in another video that the world learned from America, and the world learned that racism works. Keep the minority or the colored groups of every country, keep those persons down, and you keep up the lighter skin, indigenous, the lighter skin versions of the indigenous people in those countries. You keep those high and the minorities low, and whatever they get out of that, it works in the economy or whatever. But here it is, man. I'm talking about right in your face, slap, smack dab right in your face, man. That if the tables were turned, and this was a black man doing this to white tenants, that black landlord would have been called out in an instance without a moment's pause. Okay, and I'm looking up Mr. Wilson right now to see if and this is a guy from the UK. Okay, and this would also tie into the British Act of Privilege that I'm working on, or whatever, to show that black people, even overseas, are dealing with. No one is denying the fact that black people overseas are dealing with racism. Matter of fact, This is the most blatant next to Donald Sterling, and a lot of people want to say that well, Donald Sterling is a Jew. Well, he could be a Jew all day, but at the end of the day, he's still respected by his white counterparts, and just being the lighter skinned version of the indigenous people of his country. That automatically puts him in the same boat with white people. That's with the white skinned Latinos, that's with the white skinned Chinese, that's with the white skin any people that has white skin, and the indigenous people of their country have dark skin. They are considered a part of racist white supremacy. That's just it, cut and dry, straight like that. Not necessarily cut and dry, because when you actually just look into it and you do the research, you'll see how these people created laws for themselves as well to give themselves privilege in their country. Whenever you see Japan and the anime, that you never see a dark-skinned animation concerning Japanese anime. In China, all of the Chinese flicks, the kung fu movies, they're all white-skinned Chinese people. So it doesn't matter if they're Chinese, Japanese, or this, that, and third. If they are the white-skinned version of the indigenous people of their country, they are considered racist white supremacists. That logic may seem illogical to you, but after just doing research on my own and looking into a lot of politics in these different countries and whatnot, it's obvious. It's obvious, and that's the way that they feel about themselves. So I'm not gonna make this video any longer than I have to, man. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Check out the content in the channel, man. And I'll see you guys in this video. Peace.